Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation. Today, we'll be exploring the presentation title, which is our main focus. We'll also have a subtitle that gives a little more context. Over the next few minutes, I'll guide you through what we'll cover, including key points and insights. Let's get started. Let's take a quick look at the contents of today's presentation. We will start with the main points to be discussed, then move on to explore the layers of soil, which are essential for understanding soil's structure. We'll examine what soil actually is, including the soil that contains life. Next, we'll look at the soil profile, which shows us the different layers beneath the surface. We'll also go over the types of soil and their properties, as understanding these helps us see how soil supports various crops. Then, we'll discuss the relationship between soil and crops, which is crucial for agriculture. After that, we'll cover what soil erosion is and why it matters. To clarify some terminology, we'll review some key word meanings. Finally, we'll wrap up with a thank you. All these points connect to our overall theme. Understanding soil is fundamental to managing land sustainably and ensuring healthy crop production. Today, we're going to explore some key points about soil, which is fundamental to understanding agriculture and crop production. First, we'll look at what soil is and the fact that it contains living organisms that play a crucial role in soil health and fertility. Next, we'll discuss the soil profile, which refers to the different layers that make up soil, each with its own characteristics. Understanding these layers helps us grasp how soil supports plant growth. Then, we'll examine the various layers of soil, from the topsoil to the subsoil and beyond, and see how each one contributes to the overall ecosystem. Moving on, we'll look at the different types of soil, such as sandy, clay, and loamy soils, and how their unique properties influence farming practices. Speaking of properties, we'll also cover the essential physical and chemical features of soil, like texture, structure, pH, and nutrient content, that determine its suitability for crops. Finally, we'll connect all these points by discussing how soil interacts with crops, how healthy soil promotes healthy plants and better yields. Understanding these aspects helps us appreciate the importance of soil management in agriculture and how it impacts food security. Today, I want to talk about soil erosion, which is a critical environmental issue. Soil erosion occurs when the top layer of soil is worn away by factors like water, wind, or human activity. This process can significantly reduce soil fertility, making it harder for plants to grow and affecting agricultural productivity. It's important to understand that soil erosion isn't just about losing dirt. It impacts the entire ecosystem, including water quality and biodiversity. When soil is eroded, it often ends up in rivers and streams, causing sedimentation that can harm aquatic life. This connects directly to our overall theme of sustainable land management. Preventing soil erosion is essential for maintaining healthy soils, supporting agriculture, and protecting our environment. Simple practices like planting cover crops, building terraces, and reducing tillage can make a big difference in combating erosion. So, as we move forward in this presentation, keep in mind that soil erosion is a preventable problem, and our actions today can make a real difference for the health of our land and future generations. Let's talk about soil, which is the topmost layer of the Earth's crust. It's mainly made up of organic materials, minerals, and rock particles that together support life. Soil is one of our most vital natural resources because it provides the foundation for plant growth. It does this by holding roots firmly in place and supplying the water and nutrients that plants need to thrive. Beyond plants, soil is home to countless organisms, from tiny microbes to insects, all playing roles in maintaining a healthy ecosystem. Because of its importance, soil is essential for practicing agriculture. And as we know, agriculture is the backbone of providing us with food, clothing, and shelter. Really, it sustains our entire way of life. So, in essence, soil is an inseparable part of our lives, supporting not just plants and animals, but also human civilization itself. Soil-containing life is truly fascinating. It's home to a vast variety of living organisms, each playing a crucial role in supporting life on Earth. When we think about soil, we often focus on its physical properties, but what's equally important is the incredible ecosystem of tiny creatures living within it. These organisms range from bacteria and fungi to insects and worms, and they work together to keep the soil healthy and fertile. This complex web of life is what makes soil such a precious resource for humans. Without these organisms, soil wouldn't be able to sustain plant growth or support animals. The plants and animals that live in or depend on the soil help maintain its fertility by breaking down organic matter, recycling nutrients, and improving soil structure. So, in the bigger picture, understanding the life within soil helps us appreciate how vital healthy soil is for agriculture, biodiversity, and ultimately, our own survival. It's a reminder that soil is not just dirt, it's a dynamic, living system that sustains all of us. Let's now explore the soil profile. The soil we see is made up of different layers, which are also called horizons. These layers form a vertical section that shows us the structure of the soil. If you've ever dug deep, like when creating a well or laying a building foundation, you've actually seen these layers firsthand. One important component of soil is humus, which is the decaying organic matter that enriches the soil and helps plants grow. Without humus, soil wouldn't have the same fertility or ability to support life. Now, how does soil form in the first place? It all starts with rocks breaking down through a process called weathering. Weathering happens due to various factors like rain, flowing water, wind, temperature changes, and different climatic conditions. Over time, these forces gradually break the rocks into smaller and smaller particles, creating soil. The type of soil that forms depends largely on the parent rock, what we call the parent rock. The characteristics of this rock, such as its texture and mineral content, influence the soil's overall texture and the minerals it contains. So, the nature of the parent rock plays a key role in determining the soil's properties, which in turn affects plant growth and land use. Now, let's take a closer look at the layers of soil, also known as horizons. These layers are essential because they tell us a lot about soil composition and health. There are mainly 4 layers we focus on. First, we have the A horizon, or what we commonly call topsoil. This is the uppermost layer of soil, and it's usually dark in color because it's rich in humus. It's soft, porous, and has a great ability to retain water, making it vital for plant growth. Next, we move to the C horizon, also known as regolith. This layer is made up of small lumps of rock that often have cracks and splits. It's less affected by organic activity and serves as the transition between the surface soil and the deeper layers. Then we have the B horizon, or subsoil. This layer lies beneath the topsoil and contains fewer organic materials but more minerals. It tends to be harder and more compact than the topsoil, which reflects its role as a mineral-rich zone that supports plant roots and water movement. Finally, at the very bottom, we encounter the bedrock. This is the lowermost layer, a solid, hard rock that's very difficult to dig through with a spade. It forms the foundation of the soil profile and influences the characteristics of the upper layers above it. Understanding these layers helps us grasp how soil functions and supports life, connecting directly to the overall theme of soil health and management. Now, let's look at the different types of soil based on the size of the particles. When the soil contains a larger proportion of big particles, we call it sandy soil. These particles are coarse, which means the soil feels gritty and drains water quickly. Sandy soil is great for certain plants that prefer well-drained conditions, but it doesn't hold nutrients very well. On the other hand, if the soil has a higher amount of fine particles, then it's known as clayey soil. These particles are very small, making the soil feel sticky and smooth when moist. Clayey soils tend to retain water and nutrients effectively, but they can also become compacted and poorly drained if not managed properly. Lastly, we have loamy soil, which is considered ideal for most plants. This type of soil has roughly equal amounts of large and fine particles. It strikes a good balance, retaining enough moisture and nutrients while still providing good drainage and aeration. Understanding these differences helps us know what kind of soil we are working with and how to best care for our plants. It's a key part of understanding soil health and its suitability for different agricultural or gardening needs. Now, let's talk about the properties of soil. All soils, regardless of where they are, contain a mix of mineral particles, organic matter, water, and air. These components are the building blocks that give soil its unique characteristics. The way these elements combine influences several key properties of soil, which are crucial for understanding how soil functions and supports plant life. First, we have texture. This refers to the proportion of sand, silt, and clay particles in the soil. Texture affects how soil drains water, retains nutrients, and supports plant roots. Then there's structure, which describes how soil particles clump together into aggregates. Good structure helps with aeration and water movement, making it easier for roots to grow. Porosity is another important property. It's about the amount of pore space within the soil. High porosity means more spaces for air and water to occupy, which is vital for healthy plant roots and microbial activity. Chemistry, of course, involves the soil's pH and nutrient content, which directly influence plant growth and soil health. And finally, color, although it might seem simple, can tell us a lot about the soil's composition and fertility. Understanding these properties helps us appreciate how different soils support various ecosystems and agricultural needs. By considering these factors, we can better manage soil for sustainable use and conservation. Let's talk about soil and crops. Different kinds of soils are found in various regions, and this variation is mainly influenced by a few important factors. First, temperature plays a significant role because it affects how soil forms and how nutrients are available. Next, rainfall is crucial, as it impacts soil moisture and helps determine the soil's texture and fertility. Winds also matter, since they can cause erosion and shape the soil over time. Now, the type of crops that can grow in a particular soil depends not only on these environmental factors, but also on the properties of the soil itself, like its texture, fertility, and drainage capacity. All these elements are interconnected and influence what crops are suitable for cultivation in a given area. Understanding these factors helps us appreciate how diverse soils and crops are across different regions, and it ties into the overall theme of how environment shapes agriculture. Now, let's talk about what soil erosion actually is. Soil erosion happens when the top layer of soil gets removed. This is a crucial point because the topsoil is the most fertile part, essential for plant growth. It mainly occurs when the soil is left loose and unprotected, often due to deforestation or lack of vegetation. When there are no roots holding the soil together, strong winds or flowing water and rainwater can easily carry it away. This process not only decreases the soil's quality, but also harms the tiny organisms that live inside the soil, which are vital for maintaining healthy soil ecosystems. You see, plant roots play a key role. They act like natural anchors, holding the soil in place. Plus, they support the growth of microorganisms that help enrich the soil. That's why planting more trees and avoiding deforestation are so important. They help prevent soil erosion and maintain soil health. This ties directly into our overall theme of preserving natural resources and protecting our environment for future generations. Now, let's look at some keywords that help us understand soil types better. First up is clay. Clay soil is simply soil that contains a lot of clay, which makes it quite dense and sticky when wet. Next, we have loamy. Loamy soil is considered ideal for growing plants because it's a mix of clay and sand with some humus, making it very fertile and rich in nutrients. Speaking of humus, this is a substance made from dead leaves and plants that are broken down over time. Adding humus to soil helps plants grow stronger because it improves soil fertility and structure. Lastly, sandy soil is covered with or full of sand. It drains quickly and doesn't hold nutrients as well, but it warms up faster in spring. These different soil types are important because they influence how we plant and care for our gardens, connecting directly to the overall theme of understanding and working with nature's resources for better growth.